Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's time for another hashtag EFR Wednesday Wisdom. So as I mentioned, this is a new series on my YouTube channel, and I really wanted to just make this about small little things that I discovered along the way, things that I kind of would discuss with a friend over coffee, and it's little topics that I find and things that I reflect on that I end up putting together and just wanting to share with you, because that's what this channel is all about. It's also about encouragement, things that I go through and reflect on that I think would be helpful to other people. So as I've mentioned before, usually these posts will be something that I've actually posted before. On every 9th post on my Instagram feed, I like to put a little quote or regram something that I've seen and then kind of expand and reflect on it and make it more personal. Some of these posts, if you've been following me on Instagram, you will have seen already or known already or heard of already. And for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, welcome. And I hope that you enjoyed this series, and you can always go back to my Instagram posts and see what I said back then. So as I mentioned, some of these topics are a lot about what I've spoken about with my friends or shared with my friends, either on social media or in person over coffee. And funnily enough, and when I woke up today and had to have my coffee, I remembered this little mug saying, "Today is the day." And thinking back earlier on the day when I woke up today, I felt a little discouraged. It was a little harder to get out of bed, a little harder to be focused and go and achieve what I set out to achieve for the day and plan for. And so this post is a little bit of me preaching to myself, but I also have a strong suspicion that if I've struggled with it, I'm sure somebody else can relate and has also experienced this. So today's post is going back to one of my older Instagram posts that I posted on the 18th of October 2018. And I actually then took it and put it as part of my year in review birthday reflection post that I like to do at the beginning of every year. The beginning of the year is always a reflective time for me, and I feel like that's what I'm constantly doing, and I think that that is something that is such an important part of my routine and about my just daily life, and things that I have found actually help me succeed and move forward and improve, which is what I aim to do every time from my reflection. So this post is kind of a little bit of a letter to me with how, having my own time and having to manage my own time to really move towards achieving my own goals, you're always going to have to focus. You're probably going to have to block out time, be really intentional, plan ahead, and stick to the schedule and stick to your goals and keep the promises that you make to yourself. So one of the promises I made to myself was to get up and exercise and to get the day started earlier and to start my day and to really achieve and accomplish things. And I felt like I kind of failed, and I was beating myself up about it. And I realized that I was kind of feeding those distractions that I tend to have. I am super easily distracted. I fall into the trap of trying to multitask many times. One minute I'll be doing something and the next minute I'll think of something else to do, and then you end up doing 500 things and nothing gets done in time. And multitasking is actually such a fallacy, because you feel like you are getting more done because you're doing things at the same time, but in actual fact it takes you longer to get that one thing done. So I actually read a really funny Instagram post yesterday that on social media that actually I could totally resonate with and have been struggling with as well, and that is, it says, "My mind is like an internet browser. I have 19 tabs open. 4 of them are frozen, and I have no idea where the music is coming from." And I think so many of us can relate to this kind of post and this kind of quote, because we kind of live our lives like that. Things are happening all at the same time. There's FOMO, and we kind of it's so easy to lose yourself in all the noise that is going on around you, and then not end up achieving the things that you plan to do because you keep on getting distracted. I think we get distracted for a number of reasons. I think the first thing to do to combating this kind of problem, or to find a solution to this, is stop and reflect. Like, for me, I had to really look at the goals that I'm trying to achieve, write them down, put them up somewhere, visualize them. That's an important, powerful tool. But then also look at what the barriers to those things are, what is stopping you. And many times we just have to simply say no to the things that are not going to help us achieve our goals. I think a lot of people have asked me this, and sometimes I feel like I'm guilty of not following my own advice, but people are like, how do you achieve all the things that you achieve? How do you wear all the different hats that you wear? And I think when I look at times that I have managed to achieve what I wanted, was when I said no to the things that were not speaking to where I need to go, when I said no to those people, those places, those events, those things, and just moving away from anything that has a negative effect on you or that takes you away from your goal that you probably already know, or would find out for yourself quite quickly if you took the time to just reflect on it. I must say, I think one of the things that I've found upon my own personal reflection is that distraction is often disguised as inspiration. We often think that, I just need to be inspired and then I can do this thing, or I just need to get motivated and then I can do this thing, and then you go onto Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever for 500 hours, and you waste a lot of time by being distracted thinking that you are looking for inspiration. And I think sometimes as well, when I want to write something of substance and I want to have it be backed up with information and I start researching, I end up going down a rabbit hole in the pursuit of perfection for what I'm trying to create and what I'm trying to produce, and I don't make any progress. We can plan forever in order to achieve that perfection, as opposed to practicing and just doing in order to make progress. And this for me was something I had to deal with over and over again. All these things seem so obvious in theory, but to achieve is actually a little bit more difficult. And we need to be constantly, again, going back to reflection, be constantly reflecting to see what it is you're doing wrong. So when I want to multitask, for instance, and I feel like, okay, I'm starting something and then I start picking up another thing or thinking of this and doing that, I stop myself at that moment and be like, I'm going to focus now and make sure that I get this one task done so that I can mark it off and put it behind me. Another thing with, the distraction and in disguise of inspiration is just also how, sometimes we don't want to do stuff. Sometimes we don't want to do the hard stuff, or we don't want to do the tasks that will that take a bit of effort, that take a bit of work, maybe are not as exciting, and we end up screwing ourselves over, to be really frank with you. And I think it's really important to recognize those things, and in that moment when you don't want to do it, just do it. Do it anyway. Put on your tackies, just like what I did this morning. If you saw my Insta stories, I really didn't feel like putting on my tackies this morning and running. I woke up late. I thought, oh, it's too late, maybe I shouldn't exercise, and I just did it anyway. I put on my tackies, I went for a run, maybe a little bit shorter than I should have, but I felt so good afterwards, so good and accomplished afterwards. And I think that's an important thing of like keeping at it and doing those things anyway. In those split seconds that you have to decide, just do the right thing anyway and get it done, and you will feel so much better. The other thing with this inspiration versus distraction was also in my morning routine. I realized that it's so easy to get onto your phone and then start scrolling through Instagram or whatever, and you want to start your day, you want to find out what happened, but in actual fact that is taking you away, distracting you from centering yourself, for the day, in your most like precious time, to start meditating and reflecting and visualizing your day and your goals that need to be achieved. So what I've started doing is, again, replacing my bad habit of picking up my phone and reading my Bible instead, meditating on the word, making sure that whatever I put into my morning is so important for the rest of my day, and how you do that morning routine can determine the rest of your day. But the way you start your morning has such a big impact on the rest of your day. Like, the things that we focus on is what we get to become. And I think distractions are there to take us away from our focus on what we are supposed to be doing, which is living out our purpose. Your purpose is quite a big thing. It needs to be broken down into smaller steps in order to actually achieve that purpose, and whatever you were put on this earth for, and what you are supposed to be doing, what is actually important versus what is urgent, which is what the world tends to tell us needs to happen and that we need to pay attention to. I also unsubscribe from a whole lot of social media platforms that just don't feed into where I need to be and what I need to achieve, and the mental state and spiritual state that I need to be in order to achieve those things. But going back to my original post that I shared on my Instagram in October of 2018, my girl/muse I wrote, Sikum Siseni, once said that what the devil cannot destroy, he distracts. And I feel like the devil wants to take you away from your purpose. He wants to destroy that. The devil and the enemy come to kill, to steal, destroy. And I feel like it's perfect to put that into distraction from our focus. And I feel like ever since I read that revelation, I keep on coming back to it because it was just so significant, and it's such a great reminder to not lose sight of the goal, the ultimate purpose of why we're here. And I think that I wrote that distractions try to take your peace away and make you feel lost and doubtful of yourself. And so starve your distractions and feed your focus on who you are becoming, with God shaping you for His purpose. So yeah, I think that is enough said for today's message. I really wanted to keep it short, but as you can see, I always have so much to share and a lot to download. Clearly, I should have started this channel a long time ago. Maybe I wouldn't be speaking so much, but that's also something that for me is a big step. It's really difficult to talk about these kinds of things, actually. It's really took a lot of courage and confidence to muster up to get to this point of sharing this channel with you. So I hope that it helped someone today. I hope it resonated with you. I hope it encouraged you to improve something in your life. Please let me know if there's something you could relate to in here. I'd love to engage with you. If there's anything more that you kind of feel, sometimes these are all over the place. My first video of this was terrible. I cringe at the thought of how all over the place it was, and did I even make a point? But the point is that we're here to improve, and it's still so worthwhile for me to share this if it helps one person, if there's one sentence or one line that spoke to you and made you feel like you can change something about your life today, and you can change your life, because I know words have so much power and they can change a life, and they have changed my life before. So it's worthwhile, of all the embarrassment and all of the scary. I'm gonna stop talking now, and I hope that you have an amazing day, and thank you so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you soon. Leave me a comment down below. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe please to my channel. Hope you have a beautiful day, guys.